Hello and welcome to this week's coffee vlog. It's now Friday the 8th of January 2021. It's 10 past 8 and it's a snow day. Woo! Well, not so woo-woo because I'm still going to work, whatever. It's not as bad as I was expecting because it did forecast to start about 3 AM right through till 7, but this is actually all we've got and it's pretty wet and already melting, so, but it's also forecast to snow most of the day, and that's going to be interesting. So let's just make sure no one's coming down because they'll probably never stop if they are. Obviously I'm taking the low roads because it's always easier going down in the snow, because when the roads are slippy you try and go uphill and go higher, even via Queensbury, that's when people tend to get stuck. And of course the one thing with us in the UK is we don't really have cars that are capable of handling the snowy conditions, because it very rarely happens. So it doesn't matter how capable your car is at getting anywhere, if all the cars in front of you can't, then you're just stuck with them. So we're heading down, we'll do Stump Cross because it's going lower altitude, so it should be less snow, and then we'll go up. Although you're going up from Stump Cross, it's a main road, so it should always be very well gritted and kept open. The major roads, that is. This one here, you see, is really very clear, but they were, when I was coming back last night, they were out gritting, then doing all the back roads as well and everything, so they were well prepared. So, funny enough, the snow we had between Christmas and New Year, that did disappear. Sunday, I think it was. Saturday, it snowed quite a lot again during the day. But that also just indicated, that should be good. It was warming up a bit because it'd been so freezing all week. And although I stupidly, because I looked at the forecast and it said Sunday was going to be really snowy as well. I was I know, I'll go Saturday and get work done out Saturday. Because I've still got a load of parcels backed up and coffee to roast. And I thought, right, even though it's snowing now, it's going to be worse tomorrow. At least it's not settled that much or anything. So I raced off to work Saturday, raced at doing everything so I could get home before it snowed in or anything. And come Sunday, all the snow had melted and we have no snow. So the forecast totally stitched me up completely. I was rushing about, all panicky in the snow on Saturday, and then yeah, there just wasn't any. Sunday it all melted away. So that was very frustrating. So obviously we had New Year's Day 2021, and of course everyone's 2021 is going to be better than 2020. Yay! Hopefully we'll finally get rid of coronavirus and we'll all get back to normal. Monday the kids went back to school, well, only primary kids anyway. Let snow off that window. Let me make that one. So the kids went back to school. I can't see past him, that's the trouble. And we had all Sunday, we had text and emails and everything saying, oh yes, school's back open Monday and we're going to do extra care and teachers all be wearing masks everywhere, so warn your kids about that. All this malarkey, and then I think we're getting a break. Monday night, Boris Johnson announces a full national lockdown in the UK. closing all schools, including primary. So my boy went back to school for one single day. You know, they're shut for Christmas, 2 weeks. They get all the teaching, everything all back together for one day. I'm sorry, bus, but no, I'm not having that. So that was just a complete waste of time and resources for me. What, just sending the kids back? They must have known on Sunday that they were announcing a lockdown Monday night. So why didn't they just say, look, primaries, don't bother going back because we're going to shut you anyway? But no, you know, more mystery from the government over how they're handling coronavirus. So yeah, that was a bit of a mess. And of course now everywhere's back in full lockdown. Places still getting away just doing takeout only, but you know, I don't know how some are managing, because I mean, especially now, most non-essential retail has to shut as well. So your only real customer base for a takeout coffee somewhere is someone who's going to the supermarket, because that's the only thing that's really open. And I don't know how many people are just bumbling about to go and grab a coffee somewhere, but still seeing some places doing takeout open. Of course, a lot of us aren't, because it's just not possible again. And yeah, you know, we'll be getting on a year into this soon. I just don't know how many more businesses can stand it. Just not earning money. Doesn't really make any sort of sense to continue to keep shutting everything down like this. But of course the government's saying this new variant, winter, perfect storm, hospitals completely swamped and overrun, and you know, there's a complete danger that basically there'll be no hospital space and people just be ill and have to stay at home because they can't go to hospital, and then they'll end up dying at home, and then we'll run out of places to put dead people, and it'll all be a nightmare. So you can kind of see that side of it, but at the same point I just
warning, risk zone.
Like I say, I just don't know what business is going to keep doing when they've just been shut for so long. I mean, really, the few, and it was a few that got to open in July, shut down last November and never really came back, because we had the lockdown in November, then we started back December, but we were in tier 3, and that was restrictive enough to make it not worthwhile for many, and we're still there now. So I don't know, I really don't know. Work-wise, January traditionally very quiet month. You know, everyone's over-ordered before Christmas, so we come back, get organised, sort stuff out, catch up on things, that sort of stuff. That's generally what January's like. This week, absolute nightmare. Flat out, can't keep up. Tuesday had the 5 kilo roaster on the whole day from 9 AM. Just throwing batch after batch after batch through. Had to be the small one because I had to pack the coffee really as I was going along, and do some smaller retail packs, and I needed to do other stuff as well. And the 5 kilo is a little more allowing. It doesn't need me staring at it every single second it's running on, which the 30 kilo does. So yeah, lots and lots of small batches, but again, because I've run everything down for Christmas, also I've just got the full range of coffees, so you know, I'm not doing 30 kilos of 22 coffees. It's just not really practical, because not all of those will be bought very quickly. So I had that on flat out. Hermes just the whole range really of orders of stuff. It's been really busy. So yeah, I mean, first week back, business wise for us, really good. For me, really hard work. But like I say, a lot of people do keep saying to me, well, at least you've got a business and at least you're still selling something, which is a fair comment, you know. Can't complain about being overworked just because you've got money rolling in all the time. So I forgot what I was going to say now. So yeah, that's been it really for the week. It's flat out. Loads of roasting Tuesday. I had the roaster on all day yesterday as well. Loads of green coffee orders, green coffee coming in, ordering new green coffee, got more green coffee to order today. It's just loads of work. You see, we've come lower down and no snow. It's just low enough down here in altitude that they don't really get much unless it's a really exceptionally cold day. It was snowing a bit in Halifax when I left Halifax last night, but I doubt it will still be there now, but we'll maybe see. So other than working most of the time as usual, spent a little bit on VR last weekend. So a couple of new ones. Bizarrely, some games I tried that didn't want to work previously did work. Ooh, that could have been messy for the white car. It came barreling up there and that guy suddenly decides to turn. So Robo Recall, tried that. That's pretty alright, I suppose. As the name suggests, you're a recall agent to recover rogue robots. Basically, you go out and blow them to bits with some handguns and shotguns, which, like, you have to grab them off your back and hip and then blast away. But you can also grab hold of the robots and rip them to bits if you fancy. And yeah, that was pretty good. It's fast, frenzied. I did whack a few things in the room while because they're coming at you from all sides. You've got to constantly twist round, and there's flying drones you've got to get, and it gets really quite involved. So that was pretty good. Until they had me throwing things into a void in the centre. This cyclone thing. Accidentally walked myself into the cyclone thing and crashed the game completely. It didn't like that. I was supposed to be throwing the robots in it, not myself. But so I gave up then and tried a different one. So went on to Red Matter. Now this is a space-based puzzle game. And it was really quite good. You're this space-suited agent sent in a space shuttle to a foreign planet to investigate it was very Russian-esque nuclear base that's been evacuated, and you're going to find out what the research they were doing was and why they evacuated it. So you sort of drift about in your VR world. His capsule lands on this planet, and there's loads of signs you can't read because they're all in, the language of the planet. It's not necessarily Russian, although everything is kind of Russianly themed. But I think they deliberately made it not actually be Russian. So everything you can't read, but you have this handheld PDA, so you point it at whatever you want to read and it translates it for you. So by doing that, you can go about and you work out how to get into the entry point of the bunker. Then you have to get in the airlock, but it's not opening, and you're going around the room thinking, well, can't get in, and then you realise that there's 2 fuse missing. So then you've got to find them, which you work out you have to get out of the door you came in, and one of them's way up high, so then you're going to move some platforms about. Then you get in the airlock, and there's more instructions on the wall. You've got to remove things, twist things. It's all very, very puzzle solving, in quite an inventive way, really. So I ploughed on through that, and it was quite good. It's kind of got this eerie feeling because you're in this really abandoned, empty bunker. Not sort of scary because there's no one jumping out at you because it is abandoned and there's no one about. So I just ploughed on with that for, I think, most of Sunday actually. I was getting quite into it.
Warning,
I did get stuck.
Check speed.
After a while, because the puzzles became quite complicated, you've got to start sort of like working out little mathematical equations to find passcodes and things. And it wasn't always that intuitive of where to go next to do something. So I did end up having to hunt about and find a walkthrough, because that's like, I'm going to be taking forever to finish this. So I found a walkthrough. I'm about 3/4 way through, but I've not had a chance this week to even think about entertaining it since then. So hopefully tomorrow I'll maybe get back and finish that one. It's quite good. I'm asking the boy about it, because of course everything I'm on is my boy's cast-offs, basically. Because I've had his Oculus Rift headset, and they're all the Rift games that you order through it. Which you can still get with his new headset. And then he also plays all the Steam ones as well. I'll also go through all these Steam ones. That will work with my ridiculously underpowered rig. But the only problem with Steam is I can't be using his games when he's using them, because you can only use them at once, one license as it were. Whereas the Oculus ones, I can use them whatever. So yeah, it's been pretty good. Nice, we made it. Not really that bad. There's no snow here, which is no surprise to me at all. Really, as it is lower down. So we shall let ourselves in. Do Mr. Nice's words of wisdom. That one and that one. Yeah, keep this one. Oh great, another coin under the car chair. Something to get later. So I better clear some of the snow off as well before I go well in. Let's just do that one. Nicely. So, Mr. Nice says, my things to talk about on your vlog. Me as I've watched the Hangover films. That's an interesting selection to watch, Richard. Can you remember Dreamcast, as I used to play the demo version of Reality 2 Rumble Boxing? One at Blockbuster. Don't really remember the Dreamcast, to be honest, Richard. The new Tom and Jerry film, no, not seen anything about that. There's kind of like something Mario my sister does, which I used to play Super Mario All-Stars on the SNES, and Dad used to look like Super Mario, as my dad used to have a moustache until the Turkish barber shaved it off in 2004. As my dad doesn't have a moustache anymore. Oh well, there you go. The third lockdown, also Chris Whitty says that COVID restrictions could return next winter, which he thinks COVID won't go away in spring, as we will tell ourselves to pretend to tell him to get away. And finally, are you ready for the vaccine? The problem with the vaccine is, Richard, is there's a ridiculously long queue for it, and I'm fairly sure I'm at the very far end of never actually getting it. So yes, I mean, they're saying, funny enough, on the news last night about, you know, if in a household someone qualifies for the vaccine, does everyone else in the house then qualify because one person's getting it, do all the rest? And no. One person qualifies in the household, all the other people won't get it unless they also qualify for their own medical reasons. So basically, yeah, unless you're at very, very high risk, you're not going to see the vaccine until maybe summer, maybe autumn. And that really all depends how the rollout goes, because again, they've no idea as they start rolling it out who's going to get sick from the vaccine and who's going to have side effects, and that will slow things down as it occurs. So I don't know. Right, well, I better go and do some work now I'm here. So have a good week and week next week, and I'll catch you in next week's coffee vlog.